You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met.
G'day everyone, Chris and Crowles here from Primac Sports. Welcome to our round 2 preview of the NRL. I've had a little bit of feedback in regards to our first week, and as such we're going to break it up. So we're going to break it up into 3 separate sections for round 2 to cover the games off. It was a cracker of a first round of footy. Certainly pretty happy with our results. We managed to pick 4 of the margins there, so
First week it always makes it pretty tough. A lot of teams come out with some new players, so it was good to see how they sort of managed this week, so it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Also a few late withdrawals, like some Brett Stewart, etc. threw a few things into disarray. Certainly didn't help a few punters out there. But I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So on into round 2. First up, we've got the Panthers and Bulldogs on Thursday night. Fans of boxing might want to tune into this one, as the return of David Clemmer promises some fireworks.
Yeah, Panthers without Seguiara this week, going to be a huge loss. Really is a key, as we mentioned last week, to their spine. I thought he worked really well. Will Smith did really well from behind. Interesting, they brought in Tyrone Peachey, not a renowned number 9, to help fill in the void there. Was a really great player with the Sharks. Adds that little bit of an X factor, I think. So I think he will work in well. It's just a matter of how much work he can get done through the middle.
Certainly a strong player. He's got some ball playing abilities, a bit of a utility. The only question I have is whether or not, if things go awry, whether or not they have another option there to back that up, and that's a big question for me. The other thing, as we alluded to before, Clemmer returns. He's obviously a big body to that Dogs pack. Their pack was really impressive in round 1 for me. Aidan Tolman, James Graham ran for a combined total of over 400 metres and chalked up both of them around the 70-minute mark, which really allowed those big bodies, Cassiano, etc., to really make an impact when they came on for the shorter windows.
Yeah, tough. I thought they did really well considering the reduction in the substitution rule. They've trimmed down, they're looking fit, looking fast. Hessler's got them working really well, so good to see. The only problem with the Bulldogs, I think, this week is Michael Leacher being out. He was a huge inclusion. I thought in the off-season he would do really well. He did really well last week, but with him being out, the former Dragon, Craig Garvey's going to be coming in. Strong replacement, great player, but not known for being an 80-minute player. So it's going to be interesting to see how they address that, who they're going to bring in to give him that short spell.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly some questions over both nines, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for both sides. Big one for me, Kerrod Holland comes into the team. For those people who haven't followed the New South Wales Cup over the last couple of years, he's been playing there with the Knights. He's a big part of their run through to the finals and to winning the state championship playoff last year. Very strong player. The Bulldogs recruited him for a reason. They've got some big belief. Be interesting to see how he goes in his NRL debut.
Yeah, definitely. This week I think I've really got Bulldogs coming in a close game. I think without Leacher there's a huge loss there. 2 good forward packs. I think it'll be in nice and tight. So I've got them going Dogs 1-12. Hopefully Clemmer gets a few fists thrown, and should be a good game to watch, hopefully.
Yeah, plenty of fireworks, fingers crossed. I like the Dogs in this one. I just think the Seguiara missing is going to be a huge out. He really provided the direction last week. I didn't think that their halves really directed them enough. And as such, I think the Dogs are going to get it done by 13 plus. I don't think they're going to be blown out by massive margins.
Alright, next up we've got the Mighty Broncos versus the Warriors up there at Brisbane on Friday night. James Roberts is taking his place here. Interesting to see how much speed he'll be pedalling on, and what shapes is going to probably be a quiet night now at Oxford Street.
Yeah, he made a great impact with that one line. I think he's probably doubled his profile thanks to that one.
It's great to see it in the game. You want the personalities back into it. So, all for it. Get out there, guys. Let's start getting some calls going. It's good to see.
That's exactly right. I love it. Jordan Carhu out, obviously an injury there. Jack Reed comes in. I don't think the Broncos lose too much there. Slightly different styles of player, but certainly both good players in their own right. But we do need to see a bit more from their outside backs than we did last week. I mean, James Roberts was a little bit quiet with the ball. Certainly made his mark with his one-liner, but I'd like to see him do some action with the ball as well.
Yeah, let's see him use that speed. Also, Ben Henry, massive loss for the Warriors. I think could be out for a full season, which is really tough to see. 3rd time in 3 years. So really hope it's nothing too serious, or he can at least get back this year. But they're bringing in Bodine Thompson, which you're not losing anything by bringing him in. Renowned good NRL player, hits it up pretty hard, so it'd be good to see how he goes.
Yeah, he's a solid 80-minute performer last year from Thompson. A few people surprised when he missed out on the starting lineup last week. Certainly a few of our Supercoach fans a bit disappointed about Henry. He was a bit of a cash cow earmarked there. So
I had him in, so tough to see him out straight
there's a
away.
few people kicking themselves there. So next up, Conrad Hurrell, clearly on the outer at the Warriors. I don't know what he's done to Andrew McFadden. I don't know whether he's dating Andrew McFadden's daughter and done the dirty or what's happened there. But all the raps on him during the off-season, he looks to have gotten himself fit. He looked to have his head right at the nines. But Blake Ashford didn't do too much to impress against the Tigers, yet still managed to hold his spot there.
Yeah, interesting to see Conrad Hurrell out. I think he's once again a great personality for the game. Going to be a huge miss. I thought Carter did really well, so having Hurrell in there as well, it's just that huge edges on either side just would have been instrumental. But hopefully he comes in during the year and whatever he's done turns it around.
That's it.
Myself, I've got the Broncos in a close game. I think the Warriors have bounced back from that first half that they really lost out last week. So I've got them still in a close game up there at Brisbane. I think will be the difference with the home crowd. So I've got them probably 1-12.
Yeah, my first watch of that game last week, I flicked in at half-time, the Tigers-Warriors game, before I caught the replay later on, and I was wondering whether the Warriors had actually turned up before half-time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same. I think they've got to bounce back. The quality of players they've got there with the likes of Luke, Johnson. I mean, you only had to see how they turned on in that second half and nearly managed to come away with a win after only playing 40 minutes of football realistically.
Yeah.
I think they'll be right in the arm wrestle, but I just think the Broncos, they're just too strong. I mean, they look like they're in about third or fourth gear for most of last week's game and still got it done. So, yeah, I think the Broncos 1-12 for this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, guys, as we said, we'll be breaking down the rest of the games for the weekend in a couple more pieces later in the week. Keep your eyes out for those. Let us know again in the comments below what you think of what we've put out there. Let us know if you think our predictions are way off the mark and you could do it a little bit better. But yeah, tune in. Thanks again for popping in for this one, and we'll see you again later in the week.
Thanks, guys.
You're simply the